G'day guys, welcome back to Offroad Crusader and welcome back to another episode working on the 200 series. I'm Todd, this is Coda. He doesn't want to sit still right now, but we're persevering. The 200 series comes with a, well this one came with a worn 10,000 pound VR Evo winch, which is great, works really well, really happy with it. Good spare parts network if I need it. However, it does come, well mine came with steel cable. Not a huge fan of it. I've used it a few times now and I find it kind of cumbersome and you need gloves for it. It hurts. I'm not a huge fan, so I want to swap it out and I've got a trip coming this weekend. More than likely there's going to be a fair bit of mud and ruts and some of us, probably me, but someone is going to get bogged. So I'm going to change that out to synthetic rope now. Now the good fellas over at Bushranger 4x4 have been kind enough to send me some synthetic rope, so thank you very much to Bushranger for that. RWRA 004. Oh no. Dude, I'm trying to film. No one wants to see your snotty nose. Sorry guys.
6 hours later.
Sorry about that, he's gone to bed now. So we're going to be taking out the steel cable and replacing it with the Bushranger synthetic rope. Really keen to be getting stuck into this one. Should be a nice, quick, easy episode, but again, we'll find out. While I'm doing this, if you can think of the best use you've had for your winch in your four-wheel drive, put it down in the comments below, whether it be getting your four-wheel drive unstuck, whether it be, I don't know, pulling a tree down, or whether it's, I don't know, making a zip line for getting a damsel out of a huge tower. Let me know in the comments. I've got a Bushranger shirt and stubby holder to give away. So leave your comment down below of the most creative and best way that you've used your winch so far. I will go through the comments and I will pick a winner for that one. Really keen. So let's jump into the episode. First thing I'm going to do is unspool all the steel cable. Just going to get my controller and the winch here. Now, obviously, it is always best to run your winch with the car on. I'm just going to be unspooling this. There's no load on it, so it's literally just going to be running an electric motor. I'm fine just to leave the car off, and that's my choice here. Also, I don't want to wake Coda up, but I also have the option to charge the batteries with a trickle charger after I've done this job, so that's why I'm choosing it to do this way. Steel cable, always wear gloves for it because it will slice your hands open very quickly, and we don't want none of that because it's very hard to deal with a baby with a sliced open hand. Unspool it by hand. That's much faster. Up, look at that. So I'll have to take the split pins off these two outside rollers. That'll allow me to get to the two bolts that hold this fair lead in place. Just woohoo! It's a weird size. There we go. So fair lead out the way. 5mm doesn't fit, and 4mm doesn't fit. Yes! That was almost going to be a showstopper. There we go, that's the bolt which is causing me issues. That Allen key one, and of course it just started rounding as soon as I put some leverage on it. But she's moving now, which is good. I've just found the right, I think it's like a 4.6. Oh, hang on, it's written, no, it's not written on there. Allen key bolt, of course it does not a 4 or a 5. And that sat in there, but of course it only works on a screwdriver on my school kit. So I've put it onto a 1/4 inch socket, single hex, and my little ratchet, and that's got it moving. There we go. Whoa. So just in case you guys are wanting to do that at home, that's the part number from Bushranger, RWRA 004, 10,000 pound winch rope. Get in contact with Bushranger just at sales at Bushranger 4x4, I think it is. I'll put the email address up on the screen and you'll be able to see where I got it from. But essentially, if you're chasing a spare part, that's that's the part you're chasing. Okay, so this bit here with the eyelet, this metal eyelet on there, There's a proper name for those, I can't remember what they are. That's going to go through the fair lead and go on the end. We can do that last because that'll fit through the fair lead nice and easy, and I haven't got the hook on yet. The other end, we're going to basically loop this over and screw it on where that bolt came out. Now this isn't, like, you're not going to be holding the weight of the car off of this little like tie-on point. Essentially, if you were, the bolt would be a hell of a lot bigger. This is basically to hold it onto the drum while you spool it on there and to keep it all nice and neat. The actual rope, usually you'll have one, a number of wrappings of the rope on the drum, and that's what will give that strength between the winch and the winch rope. So this is just to hold it in place. Once that's in place, then we can start to spool it onto the drum, and she should be all nice. The winch rope is now secured to the drum. I'm happy with that connection there. Again, it's just to hold it while you actually spool it on the drum. So now I'm going to actually, it's already engaged. So if we start winding this in, where are we going? Winch in. There we go. I can now actually start spooling this on proper. It is important, obviously, when you're spooling your winch rope on, the first few winds are as tight as they can be. As in they're nice and close and compact. You don't want any bulges or anything like that, because by the time you get to the end of your 20 or 30 meters of winch rope, it'll stand out like crazy and it'll actually stop your rope from going on properly. So I've got to take my time, do this one right. See if I can get you a close-up shot actually. Oh, that's probably worth talking about. See that red section there on the actual winch rope? That means that you're just about at the end of your drum. So really, you don't want to let any more winch rope out than this, because then you're going to be compromising that actual connection between the winch rope and the drum. So if you're going to be using your winch, always make sure that you never let it go out further than that red mark there. Okay, that's the rope all installed. Time for the actual fair lead to go on. Again, there's that part number if you are looking to do this yourself as well. That's for the fair lead. Now these fair leads are fairly good because they give you the option of either having it as an offset fair lead with the holes drilled slightly lower, or having it as a center fair lead with the holes drilled in line with the center of the slot. Basically, you'll need to figure out which one's going to work best for your bull bar. Most bull bars are usually pretty, like if you've got an ARB bull bar, for example, usually you'll need an offset fair lead. And I think Ironman bull bars, or TZM, one of the two, have center offset fair leads. But either way, if you can get yourself one that does both, that's even better. So yeah, the center one's probably not going to work best in my instance. I'm going to need the offset on there. So I'm essentially going to be installing it like that. This needs to pass through first and then bolted into place. So I'm using the supplied bolts with the spring washers and washers that come with it. They'll go in there. There's then a 6mm hex head Allen key that'll be used to actually put them in place. Let's get one side in for now. And there we go, the fair lead is all installed. I'll just tighten these up. Not a huge fan of using Allen key bolts for stuff like this because you're putting a fair amount of tension on them and they are quite susceptible to obviously rounding the little hex head inside off. Usually a normal hex head bolt, like a standard bolt, would be better because you can always sort of adapt and make something work. These can fail, but Bushranger have recommended them. I'm going to use them because it's full of the kit. Okay, winch hook. Again, that's your part number if you want to grab the same thing. So these ones, you'll have your winch hook there. That's your opening. There's a pin that holds it all together. Which will go in like so. And then there's one of these little hammer pins that will go in to hold that big pin in place. And that goes through this tiny little hole on the side there. So we'll install that now. Put that on there. This hammer pin. Beautiful, winch hook all installed. Let's reel the rest of the way in. Now what I like to do with what I did with the previous winch I had, was actually put your hook like this just as you're about to pull the rest of it in. And then when you tighten it, as you can still do a few little pulses, it'll actually hold the hook sideways and stop that from rattling about. That's not going anywhere. And just like that, we've changed over the winch rope. So guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Offroad Crusader, changing over the synthetic winch rope, fair lead and hook, getting rid of the old steel cable, archaic stuff this thing. Very dangerous if it snaps, and also it weighs a hell of a lot more than the rope as well. So the rope, going from like steel cable to rope, generally will give you around a 10 kilo weight saving, depending obviously on your sizes and things like that. But if you're really struggling for weights for things like GVM, even if you just want to reduce the amount of weight hanging over the front end of your car, this can be a really good way to do it. So again, thank you very much to Bushranger 4x4 who supplied me with the winch cable, the winch rope, and also the fair lead and the hook. Really appreciate it, guys. If you want to get involved with that giveaway I mentioned earlier, make sure to comment down below. I'll be going through those in about a week's time and picking out the best ones. Thank you very much for watching. Time to actually go out and get stuck now and use this thing in anger. Cheers, catch you in the next one.